Hi everyone, Bifties here. Welcome to my Exile. This video is another of my not a build guide videos. I know that I am nowhere near ready to bring you perfected builds, but what I can do is bring you details of fun and enjoyable builds that will get you through the campaign to end game, and then that leaves you room for you to perfect the build yourself. And if you do that, then please come back and put it in the comments so that maybe I can actually learn from all of you. So I put out a video of the Mercenary the other day, which was the Witch Hunter build, and I'd very much built it around the Crossbow. Now, the Crossbow I think is excellent for mapping, for clearing maps, but I don't think it's as good, or I haven't found a way to make it as good for bosses quite yet. But the grenades are perfect for bosses. Now, I found it hard to have a build that is great at both, but that is the build that I'm working on at the moment. So I've got a third mercenary that I'm working on. But what you're watching here is my Grenade God, my Gemling Legionnaire mercenary that is focusing almost entirely on grenades. The only crossbow ammo that you need for this build is the explosive shot, and you're only using that as a detonator to detonate pretty much just the gas grenades. But you're going to focus entirely on grenades, and I think what you'll find is that mapping's pretty good, but bosses are just going to melt in front of you. And I find it a lot of fun. I don't know if you agree with me. I think everybody's different, but I find that the crossbow is the most satisfying weapon in my opinion, or it's the one that I enjoy the most. So I'm focusing on that. And I'm even leaning towards, once I try and find the hybrid crossbow grenade mercenary build, that then I'm going to work on a ranger crossbow build, because I'm just completely addicted to the crossbows. But anyway, with this build, what you want to do is, much like the Witch Hunter, you're going to be searching in the passive tree for projectiles. That will move you through the tree, so you want to be focusing on that. But one thing that will slightly trump projectiles is actually attack speed. A 3% attack speed will give you a slight increase on DPS over a 10% projectile damage increase. So for the very first 3 or 4 passives, you're going to take attack speed, then you're going to go projectiles. But the way that you're moving is towards anything with grenades in it. Now, you're going to work on grenade damage. You're going to get an extra grenade for every attack, and you're going to get an extra cooldown. That's going to move you down the center of the mercenaries' passives. And then after that, you're going to move over and you're going to increase the damage, and you're going to reduce the fuse length. It's really simple. That's going to take you probably through to level 20, level 25, something like that. And then you're going to move down to the outer edge where there's actually a passive section that looks a bit like a crossbow. And within that, you've got a 2 grenades, a grenade damage, and the 15% chance for grenades to occur more than once or a second time. So it's pretty straightforward. As far as the skills are concerned, because you're going with the Gemling Legionnaire, you're able to actually use support skills more than once. You can use them twice. So that's really helpful. If you're using the explosive shot or the explosive grenade, then they're pretty much going to take exactly the same support skills. So you're looking to increase fire damage, will be really helpful there. For your gas grenades and your flash grenades, your stun grenades effectively, you're going to want to use scatter shot in order to have multiple grenades, and this is going to make a huge difference. In the beginning I messed up because I think it was worth putting the explosive grenades as scatter shot, and I was only having a single gas grenade. Thought I was smart there, didn't really know what I was doing, but actually what you want is lots and lots of gas, and then you just need to explode it very simply. You can actually keep explosive shot and explosive grenade at a lower level, which will actually reduce the amount of mana you're using for them, because it doesn't matter too much. You're not really relying on them too much for damage. you're just using them as a detonator. So you've got your flash grenades for stun. That's going to be really useful at the beginning of any boss. You probably don't need to use the flash grenades at all when you're clearing maps, but for bosses it's brilliant. You want to stagger them. You especially want to use it, and you should be able to use it 3 times once you've moved through some of the passives, and you'll actually get 3 rounds off, and you're getting multiple grenades each time. And then if you can do that, you can actually stagger a lot of the bosses before they pull off some of their more damaging moves, and it's really useful to do that. And then what you're doing is you're then throwing down after the flash grenades and after the stun, you then put gas, explosive grenade, gas, just keep gassing. That will all overlap, and then you will just absolutely melt the bosses. I find that really, really helpful, because it's frustrating when you get stuck on a boss, and that might be holding a lot of you back. I don't know if you guys have done the Dreadnought run. It's one of my favourite parts of the game, and this is Dreadnought on Crawl. And as you can see, I'm pretty much moving through. I don't think it's as fast to move through maps, or it's definitely not as fast to move through maps as my Witch Hunter build. So I'll put a link of that in the description if you are more interested in that. That's got some decent interest. That's done quite well. And I really enjoy it. It's why I want to come up with a hybrid of the two, because for bosses it's grenades and for clear it's crossbow. But when I was looking to max the damage, I found it hard to focus on that within the passives. But I think I've learnt more now. I've copied a couple of parts from some build guides. I think the gas, mainly a gas Gemling build is out there. I've seen it on max roll. But a bit like me with the Witch, I wanted lots of different minions. I didn't want to focus on one. Well, with this, I want lots of different grenades. I don't want to just focus on one. So flash is great for stunning. Your gas is your main damage dealing. You're either exploding it with explosive grenade, but if you need to get it off quick, then you want to use explosive shot. So that's going to be the only thing the only ammo that you've got equipped. Then you've also got, I think this is the latest or the last grenade you'll get, and you'll get cluster grenade. Cluster grenade is just great for exploding the entire screen. And actually it's got quite a long fuse. So what I've been doing is I'll run in, maybe I'm clearing maps, maybe it's a boss, but I will just throw a cluster in and almost forget about it. It's just there. It's just there to kind of help and do some additional damage, but really it's all about gas for your damage, but the flash is absolutely brilliant for stun. Once you've taken everything for grenade and you've used projectiles to get you to the grenade passives, what you can do is maybe look for some more attack speed. There's actually attack speed opposite the outer crossbow passive section, and that goes with the a chance to blind, but you're really only taking it for the attack. If you've moved directly down the middle of the passive tree, then there is part where you can almost go and expand on that slightly, and you've got a chance for movement speed. If you've killed recently, that's near where you'll take the grenade damage and fuse reduction. But part of that movement speed is the main. Is it a notable? The main one is actually going to also give you attack speed, and that's really helpful. Like I said at the beginning, attack speed or 3% attack speed is slightly better than a 10% damage increase. So it's worth noting. But you've got to remember that with projectiles are giving you an increase for both your ammo and your grenades, whereas a grenade damage is only doing the grenades. So it's worth noting that's something that I've got to really focus on now that I'm trying this hybrid mercenary. So you've got the attack speed, you've done projectiles, you've gone with grenades. Those are the words that you're mainly searching. And then you can look to do some stun. I stole that from the gas grenade Gemling on max roll, that they were looking to add some extra stun. And you can also look to do Cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction is good. That works for grenades, but it doesn't seem to do anything for ammo. But you can do cooldown reduction and area of effect. Now, there's some of those early on, but I took the damage because early on you're going to want the damage because that's going to help you clear faster. And if you're clearing faster, then you're getting less frustrated with the game. So I think it all balances. But just remember that you can always go back. You don't have to be absolutely locked in on what you're going to stick with on passives. You can take a passive because that serves you early on, but then you can go back and maybe change that passive. You just got to be aware of what you're doing. And one of the things that I've done in the past is I've decided to make big changes to the passive, and then I felt like I'd actually got worse. But because I'd made so many changes, now I didn't know which ones had had the biggest effect. So it's always worth making small changes. If you're unsure what support gems to use at any point in the game, then it's probably always best to just add one and see if it makes a difference for you. Then add another. You can always try adding one and go, yeah, I like that, but then try a different one to see if you notice a change in it, and then maybe you want to double them up. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm going to do a video about skill gems and support gems. I think they're worth doing separately as part of my Made Easy beginner guide. But I just wanted to show you this. I hope this is helpful to you. I think you'll enjoy it. If you like the Mercenary like I do, then I think you're going to absolutely love this. It's sort of a variation on the gas gemling that you may have already seen out there. I just found this a bit more fun. I like to have options. I don't want too many options. I'm not trying to use every single button that I've got available to me. I'm using the controller, so I'm not trying to use too many, but I did want to use all of the grenades, and I can see places for them. The oil grenades can still be useful. They make people more susceptible to fire and slow them down. So if you throw in a flash grenade followed by an oil grenade and then start throwing in gas followed by explosive and then more gas, then it's all going to combine and you're really going to see some benefits with the bosses. There's a lightning grenade as well. I actually want to use that with my witch hunter because I'm using the lightning galvanic shards in order to clear, so I think that's a good combination. But because I'm not using the galvanic shards on this build, then I don't know if it's quite worthwhile. But I've taken it anyway because I've got room for it, and I just really want to use as many grenades as possible. And I think it does have its place. So let me know what you think. Put it in the comments. I really appreciate you watching. Really appreciate all the support. I'm having a lot of fun making these videos, and I feel like I'm learning a lot in YouTube. There you go. I've just died, so it's not perfect, but I think I'd blame me more than I would blame the build for that. Sometimes I get a bit lazy just running in. It's just like, oh, I just want to run in and blow up loads of things, but I run in and I've spawned too many and I can't handle it. So thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope this is helpful. Comments, follow, like, subscribe, everything. Really appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Bifties. This is The Cave. Welcome to my exile. See you next time.